Hello everyone and welcome back. And before we start this week's project, I just wanted to show you how last week's bulb arrangement's coming along. And if you look closely there, the mascari is just starting to form its flowers. So it's looking really lovely at the moment. And the primroses are still looking lovely. There's lots of buds still on and it's looking absolutely beautiful at the moment. And the rest of the mascari bulbs I planted in with my acacia trees, and they're just starting to form little flowers as well, so that's very exciting. So now we're back inside. My project for this week is to make a flower vase display frame, and what I did want to do, I wanted to attach a glass vase to it, and my husband said it might fall off. So I've decided to cut I've used a plastic bottle and I've cut it down. It's about the same size as this glass vase, and I've attached that with some silicone last night. So it's well and truly dry now and it's attached itself. In the back of the frame, you can easily put a photograph, a card, or anything you want. In this instance, I've scrunched up some tissue paper and I put it in the back of the frame as a backdrop for my flowers when I put them in the display vase. So the flowers I'm using, these lovely purple coloured tulips and some delicate pink roses, some spray white carnations and these lovely little filler little flowers here. And I just wish when you bought flowers from the supermarket, they had bunches of green that you could buy, because they sell a lot of roses and lilies and everything else, but you do want to add some filler, and I wish they would do bunches of either eucalyptus and fern and more gypsophilia when they're putting their plants out. But this is what we've got to work with, and I think it's going to be enough. And how I'm going to tackle it is I'm going to do like a posy in my hand first, because I think it's going to be easier having the bunch of flowers in my hand, and then cut it down and then put it in the display vase and then add some more in afterwards. And just to add, when I bought the tulips yesterday, I deliberately didn't cut the stems down before I added them into the vase of water. I cut the roses down and put them in. And because I wasn't filming the video until today, I obviously didn't want them to open. So it's a little tip that if you're not using them until the following day, don't cut your tulips down, because they will open more or less straight away. So now I will cut them today, obviously, because I'm doing my arrangement, and they're still quite nicely in bud still, so I think they'll look lovely. And what I'd like to do, I'd like to take the outer guard petals off on the roses. I think it will reveal the rose a bit more with the pink inside, and the guard petals have got a tinge of green to it, so I do want to take them off before I do my arrangement. So I'm going to start by using the tulips first and having the back of my hand as a guide to the back of the frame. I think if I choose the tulips first, I think it'll be a lovely backdrop, and I think it will show the roses off lovely. So I'm going to start by using the tulips and then just building it in my hand and then plonk it into the vase. So now I've got it to look in a decent little posy. I've got to think about cutting the stems down. So I want to hold it by my picture frame and see how high I want it. So I'm going to cut it down, and if I need to cut it down a bit more I will, but if I cut it too short then it will be no good. So I'm going to cut it down a little bit and see how it is. And I've chosen the tulips with like a natural bend on it. And what I want to do is to have them bending over the front of the vase, and just sort of manipulate it a little bit because the stems are a little bit bendy anyway, and just manipulate it so it just drapes over the vase. And that's it, it's all finished. I've curled the leaves round of the tulips. I think it just looks really nice that way. And I am pleased I went for the plastic vase because I think the more flowers you put in, it does get front heavy. So I've stretched the back piece back to accommodate for the weight. But I think it looks really nice. And also it's lovely for any occasion. If you wanted to do something for Valentine's Day, an anniversary, a birthday, or anything like that, you could put less flowers in, and as I say, have a photograph in the back where you can see it. But it's lovely for any occasion. And also you could put it on your wall, and I'll just show you what it might look like. So on this, if I had decided to have two and add one either side of my shelving, I could easily attach that onto the wall there. I think that would look really pretty. And also, if you wanted it next to a doorway, you could pin it on the wall that way. And I had enough left over to fill these two bud vases as well, so it will make a lovely display. And just a little bit of advice when doing anything like this, all it needs is a little bit of organisation and preparation, and everything else will come together because it's such an easy project to do, and it's so pretty and it just has a lovely impact on the room. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a lovely week and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.